The man stepped into thin air and plunged into a bottomless swamp. The mud rose past his waist, but instead of panicking, he looked up at the branches above him, where two tiny creatures were perched. Just as the mud was about to reach his chest, the little animals seemed to sense his predicament. One of them quickly started gnawing at the tree trunk, while the other nimbly climbed to the top of the branch, bending it down toward the man with all its might. A glimmer of hope appeared, and without hesitation, the man grabbed the branch, struggling fiercely to pull himself out of the muck. However, just as he freed himself, the little helper on the branch, Martin, lost its footing and tumbled into the swamp. The man, gasping for breath and relieved to have escaped, didn't even notice Martin flailing in the mud. Before long, the swamp swallowed the tiny figure completely. The other Martin hopped anxiously on the branch, letting out frantic chirps as if calling for its companion, but it was no use. Finally, the man noticed what had happened. He reached into the mud, trying to find the missing Martin, but the swamp had already returned to its calm, undisturbed state, as if nothing had happened. The Martin on the branch kept urging him on. The man gritted his teeth and bent down again, eventually spotting the barely breathing Martin in a small puddle at the edge of the swamp. He carefully scooped it up, gently wiping away the mud from its tiny body. Feeling grateful for Martin's life-saving efforts, the man had an idea. He would adopt the two little creatures. He gave them names, and the Martins, instead of being wary after the ordeal, seemed to grow attached to him, even crawling into his pocket on their own. What the man didn't know, however, was that these two Martins were no ordinary animals. Their arrival would mark the beginning of an extraordinary, fantastical journey for him, unlocking a mysterious and powerful force he could never have imagined.